distinguished guests for the evening, Srimati Sudha Murthy ji, Professor Raghavendra Tawar ji, Srimati Ritu Sharrma ji, and Shri Prashant Jain ji to kindly come up on the stage and take their seats.
साउंड सेट करूँगा फिर लाइन पे।
For the auspicious hour of our end, we invoke the blessings of Maa Saraswati. I would request our distinguished guests to kindly join us for the lighting of the lamp.
So one or someone who is part of it. Then we do it too, it's not fair.
I would request Shri Prashant Jain ji to kindly welcome our chief guest, Srimati Sudha Murthy ji, with a shawl and a bouquet of flowers. I would request Shri Prashant Jain ji to kindly welcome our guest of honor, Professor Raghavendra Tawar ji, with a shawl and a bouquet of flowers. I would again request Shri Prashant Jain ji to kindly welcome Srimati Ritu Sharrma ji with a shawl and bouquet of flowers. As we celebrate Navratri and seek the blessings of the Divine Mother, the launch of the book titled Shakti, Tales of Power and Promise is very well timed. As we are in the 5th day of Chaitra Navratri and Goddess Skanda Mata is showering us with new growth and renewal. For the welcome address and to have insights about the book, I would now like to welcome on stage the author, Srimati Ritu Sharrma ji.
Good evening, everyone. I am overwhelmed to have you all here. I can see so many familiar faces, And it's really touching that everyone is here to support me. People are on the way, they are here to support me. And especially I'm deeply thankful to my esteemed guests, Madam Sudha ma'am, Dr. Tawar, and my publisher, Mr. Prashant Jain, without whom this book would not have been possible. I'm also extremely thankful to my illustrator. I can see Nandini somewhere. Nandini, you'll have to come up for the release. And she's really contributed to this book. Once you have it, once we release it, she has added to this book beautiful sketches, which have taken the chapters, each chapter, its theme, by understanding it well to a higher level, to the best level possible. So thank you, Nandini. I always wanted to be a writer. Now that's a cliche, everyone would say, but I always believe cliches, they are a hard fact reality of life. And that is what my life was. I was writing in school and college, off and on articles, short stories, but I never had the courage to publish them. So this continued even when I got into the job. And then COVID happened. All my family members, we were locked up in rooms, different rooms, each one of us, 2 in hospital. And that is when I decided that now it has to happen. And that is actually the day when I became a writer. And all the more so because my son, he was 8 years, he is going to kill me for it, but he published a book then. He wrote a beautiful murder mystery and he published. And I thought, if not now, then when? And if he can do it, why can't I? So that's how the journey of this book began. But so I took up writing classes, just to know the nuances. And I used to write 2 hours every day. That was my strictest of routine possible. And I brought in a lot of short stories. I started publishing them online on Substack. And they were received well. And then the publishing kida bit me, as it had to happen. Everyone said they are beautiful, so you should. I said, okay, fine. I knocked on the doors of the publishers, and they were the standard replies. I was literally shooed out of their rooms, and they were like, nobody reads fiction by an Indian author, and nobody reads fiction until and unless it's by some celebrity. And I was neither. So it was really heartbreaking, and few days and even few months I took to realize, then what should I do next? So I was having these conversations with a lot of publishers, and I was going to editors, and that is when they started suggesting me that you should write non-fiction. But then non-fiction what? I didn't have any expertise on any topic, whatever their suggestions were, that you write on meditation, you write on spirituality, you write on yoga. I did not, and I didn't want to fake it. So then, what is it that my heart loves? What is the closest to my heart? Shakti. And that is it. That's the way this book began. So in that zeal and that over-enthusiastic thing to be a writer, I started researching upon it. I did a lot of reading and exploring. And believe me, every day my head hung in shame, because I knew nothing. I used to believe that I know a lot, but I knew nothing. I was, since the age of 8, probably that's what my parents tell me. Since the age of 8, I used to just, recite those verses, recite the text in the book, never went to the meaning behind it. And it used to really make me feel guilty about claiming to be writing a book on this subject. So I was really, every day was a shock for me. Questions arose, then who is Shakti? If you read the story of Sati, why did she kill herself? I used to think. Then why did she douse herself in fire? Or why didn't Shiva save her? Is the goddess who is in the temple, who's sitting in the temple across my street, the same as the one who sits on Himalayas? So these kinds of questions then arose, because earlier I was blind. It was a blind faith. And that's how, one day I just thought, okay, this whole experience of brutalizing my ego gave me actually the push, the energy to let me explore it. So what I decided that I'll just walk. I'll walk to her, I'll travel to her, I'll meet people, and whatever that experience is, I'll put it in the book. Whether it's right, whether it's wrong, I am no one to say anything. And that's how it came about. So I traveled, I met a lot of people. So if you read the book is actually a conversation. It is a conversation between me, the author, and Mahanji. So Mahanji is a character who represents all the people, the priests, the head priests, the travelers, the devotees, the followers, whosoever was there. I could meet even someone who was begging outside Kamakhya temple. If I talked to him, what I felt. So I tried to put in all of that in this book. Not just put in factually, then I tried to, what I felt behind it. What was the real experience behind it? So for example, some of the Shakti Peeths I went and it was a very pleasant experience. Or if I went to one Shakti Peeth, I was really scared. When I went to the Dasa Mahavidyas, when I went to Kamakhya. And it took me 2 or 3 visits to actually imbibe it and get noble with it. So that's how, the story began. So it's a conversation, it's a compilation of 9 chapters. It begins with how, for example, my experience. I've been, throughout my childhood, I've been visiting Vaishno Devi. And I did not know that what her status was in terms of Shakti Peeths. That's what I realized when I visited Vaishno Devi. Why most of the Devi mandirs or Shakti Peeths, they are slightly away or inaccessible, on the mountains, Himalayas, or the rivers where you have to travel. The idea is that you leave the worries, the mundane, you wash off all of that, you take a bath, and then you meet her in your purest form, ready to meet her. So these kind of experiences, these kind of realizations, I've tried to incorporate in this book. I hope you will like it. And one more thing which I would like to say is that Ma is eternal. So there may be some people who are here in the ground who may not be believing in her. But she's for everyone. She's also the mother. Mother we all have. She's also our motherland. So this book, Mother, she belongs to all of us. And I really invite you to join in this journey, to walk to her, to walk with her. And that is what I want this book to be all about. And now I would just like to quickly thank people who have contributed to it. So both set of my parents, they are here. So namaskar to them for blessing me with these thoughts and supporting me. Both my moms are here. It's such an overwhelming moment for me. My brothers, my bhabis, Chavi, Kanishk, everyone. My illustrator is here, who helped me all the time. And most special, Rajat and Raghav. Raghav is my son, who does not leave any opportunity to pull my leg, but he's been my greatest support throughout. I know whatever he means, even his meanings I have to interpret, the deep meanings behind it. And my husband, the ever diligent one, who has taken care of every full stop and comma. So if there is any issue, he is the one responsible for it. I am not. And he's been my quietest strength throughout. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Now is the moment for which we all have assembled here. I request our distinguished guests to kindly release the book, Shakti, Tales of Power and Promise. I also request the illustrator of the book, Ms. Nandini Nair, to kindly join us on stage for the release of the book. I request Sri Prashant Jainji to felicitate Ms. Nandini Nayarji, the illustrator of the book, with a shawl. Our guest of honor, Professor Raghavendra Tawar, is a man of letters. He is the chairperson of the Indian Council of Historical Research. Professor Tawar has been associated with several educational institutions. In 2008, Professor Tawar was selected as the first president of the newly formed section, Contemporary History of India, in the Indian History Congress. Professor Tawar is reputed for his contribution to the study of the partition of India. He has authored numerous books and has published articles in various national and international journals. For his academic contribution, he was awarded the Padma Shri in the year 2022. We welcome you, sir, for your address.
Thank you. See, being asked to speak in the presence of someone like Sudha Murthy-ji is a very difficult task. You know, ma'am, I was telling you just now, me and my wife read your books, our children read your books, our granddaughter reads your books. And this is like millions of us across the world. We know her perhaps as the most recognized face of women in India, perhaps the best known women, at least in my view. A lady of great graciousness, humility, a great philanthropist, and if you read her or listen to her, I personally never miss a line she speaks or a line she says anywhere. I follow her in her writings, I follow her in Parliament, everywhere. Let's give her a nice applause, please. The monograph, Ritu was very, understatingly saying that she's not been a writer. I've gone through this book. And Ritu, you've done an excellent job. It's a very fascinating monograph. A story that, it's a spiritual journey. With humility, devotion, reverence, that she has explained it. There are no pretensions. Like the Honorable Chief Guest, the distinguished author, Ritu has spoken from her heart. She writes from her heart. She has described her visits to the 9 peats, the sacred geography of India. And she has raised very insightful issues. For example, at one place she says, what is sacred? What makes it sacred? Is there a scale to measure sacredness? These are very insightful observations that you've made here. And I really enjoyed reading it. In the descriptive narrative, Ritu has woven her sentiments reflecting on her deep reverence. For example, when she was going to Vaishno Devi, the 12 or 13 kilometers, she says, I forgot the regular world. Those 12 kilometers disconnected her from her routine life. Again, very sentimentally and very thoughtfully expressed. She provides the reader a glimpse, the historicity, the significance of the different peats that she has visited. In the discussion we were having before coming here, I requested her that your next book should also carry some illustrations of the peats. Honorable Sudha Murthy-ji was also saying that there are many other peats that you should be working on. I'm sure Ritu will come up with another book on this. Ritu has traveled as an ordinary citizen. It's very important to travel to these religious places as an ordinary person, because it is only then that you can imbibe the significance of the place you're going to, the feeling. I'll read out a few lines from how Professor Radhakrishnan, the great philosopher, had discussed the goddess Kali. He had referred to some ancient Sanskrit texts, and in the classical Hindu view of life, which he wrote about 100 years ago, almost 100 years ago, and it was published, a small booklet, The Hindu View of Life. So I'd like to read a few lines from that to understand the reverence, the importance of the kind of work that authors like Ritu and all are doing. He writes, Thou, O goddess, O auspicious remover of distresses, of those who turn to thee for refuge, art not to be known by speech, mind, and intellect. None indeed is able to praise thee by words. Although devoid of attributes and form, although standing outside of objective existence, although beyond the range of the senses, yet assuming a form possessed of attributes for the well-being of devotees. This is Professor Radhakrishnan narrating the significance of the goddesses in our ethos, in our civilizational significance. In the same essay, Professor Radhakrishnan writes, Hinduism does not distinguish ideas of God as true and false. This is very important. It accepts the obvious fact that mankind seeks its goal of God at various levels and in various directions and feels sympathy with every stage of the search. The same God expresses itself at one stage as power, at another as a personality, at a third as an all-comprehensive spirit. It accepts all religious notions as fact and arranges them in the order of their more or less intrinsic significance. Now, this is the significance of these sacred geographies, these sacred places that Ritu is referring to in her work. Ritu, describing her journey to these different peaks, I'm quoting from Ritu's writing, like the climbing of the mountains to Vaishnu Devi or ascending the steps to Chamunda Devi, crossing the river to the other bank gradually slid the cloak of yesterday's warriors. The questions, the laments, and the angst were still there, but now accompanied by the assurance that she was aware. This is the significance of the goddesses. When you go to a temple, when you pray, you may or may not get something in return, but you are at least aware that someone has listened to you. This is what Ritu talks in her description of these peaks. I'd like to read another few lines from Ritu's writing. Today was just another day. We can worship anywhere, chant anywhere, all its pious. God is everywhere, but the vibrations one receives in an ancient temple cannot be matched. It is the accumulation of sounds and their energy over ages that makes a place a sacred one. So she answers this point very well. What makes a temple sacred? What makes a sacred place important? The last chapter is in the Sarda Peeth. I have done some writings on Kashmir. One of my studies has just been published. The Honorable Sudha Murthy was, showing her keenness to visit the Sharda Peeth. I'm sure, ma'am, that since it is in your mind, I'm sure you will be visiting there. You see, the Sharda Peeth is something which is intrinsic to our evolution. It is a part of our culture. It is a part of our spiritual heritage. And for those familiar with the history of Jammu Kashmir, in the ages gone by, would understand what it means. So Ritu has very remarkably explained. It was a very touching moment. When I was going through it, I read it very carefully because I had studied this context here. In the book, ma'am, that I presented to you just now, I had the honor of presenting to you, I've referred to the Sharda Peeth in detail. She has also been very sensitive in the sense she's quoted from Al-Burni. Now, Al-Burni is the chronicler of Mahmud. Mahmud is the person who actually ransacked our temples. And Al-Burni is very unhappy with what Mahmud has done. And one of his references is, of course, to the Sharda Peeth. And it was a very thoughtful gesture that you picked up on Al-Burni to explain the importance of the Sharda Peeth. The book that Ritu has contributed underlines the significance of our sacred spaces, of legacies that have remained deeply spiritual. It is impossible to understand. It's very important for us to know that you cannot understand India, this ancient land, until you understand its spiritual DNA. It is just impossible. You cannot disconnect spiritual thought, the cultural ethos, and then try to understand it. This is the mistake that the Western scholars have been doing, something we are trying to undo by our writing, trying to redraw the whole concept rather. There is another aspect, Ritu, I'd like to add to your work in the sense that you see the importance of the Mother Goddess in our history is very, very critical. The spiritual part is there. But I'm going to give you 2 or 3 examples of how important this concept of the goddess was in our evolutionary process, particularly in the context of the freedom movement. How the whole foundation, something that we have overlooked in fact. See, when Bankim Chandra conceived of the Anand Mat, and we have what we know as we rever as the Vande Mataram, it's very important to understand it was a dark age. The British were at the peak of their power. And it was just darkness, and suddenly you have this Vande Mataram emerging. And if you look at the historical evolution of this Vande Mataram, you will see Tilak picks it up, Vinayak Savarkar picks it up, Aurobindo picks it up, Lala Lajpat Rai picks it up. To the extent that Lala Lajpat Rai is sitting in Lahore, he starts a newspaper by the name Vande Mataram. Subramanian Bharati is in Tamil Nadu. He translates it into Tamil. It is sung on the streets of Tamil Nadu. And what is Vande Mataram? It is a devotion to the mother. It is remembering the mother. Aurobindo writes in a place, for what is a nation? What is our mother country? It is not a piece of earth, nor a figure of speech, nor a fiction of the mind. It is mighty Shakti. Exactly what you are saying. Comprised of the Shaktis of millions, the Shakti we call Bhavani Bharati. This is Aurobindo, around 1904. Around the same time, when, as I refer to Bankim Chandra's, this is a very critical period in Indian history when the context of the mother goddess and the nation as a mother is evolving. As I said, you have Lala Lajpat Rai talking of it, you have Subramanian Bharati talking of it, you have Tilak talking of it, you have Aurobindo talking of it, and of course Vinayak Savarkar talking of it. I'll just, in 1904, there was this secret society called Mitra Mela. Those contemporary students of history would know this. It was renamed as Abhinav Bharat in 1904. Now, the Abhinav Bharat had an oath that you had to take if you enrolled into the Abhinav Bharat. I'd like to read a few lines to underline the emphasis of the context of the nation being a mother and why it is so important in our ethos. This is the oath of Abhinav Bharat. Vande Mataram is the first line. In the name of God, in the name of Bharat Mata, in the name of the martyrs that have shed their blood for Bharat Mata, I shall from this moment do everything in my power to fight for independence and place the lotus crown of Swaraj on the head of my mother. The relation of the nation as mother. So we, in the DNA of the Indian psyche, we have revered these places. They may have been ruined, they may have been destroyed, people may have forgotten them, but in the ethos, in the DNA of the Indian civilization, you see, we are not a nation we are not a press button civilization. This nation has evolved over centuries, unlike so many other countries in the world, which are press button civilizations. What we do, some of what we are doing today, our ancestors were doing 2,000 years ago. This is how this country has come into being. And the basic foundation of this nation is based on the spiritual and cultural ethos, DNA in the modern sense. Ritu, in the process of her book, has taken us through a very fascinating journey. It's an incomplete journey in the sense, as Sudha Murthy ji very kindly suggested, that you need to do some more work, we need to add some more to it. I would even suggest that we do an illustrated part of it. That makes it more interesting. With these words, I'd like to thank the audience who've joined here. I'm very grateful to Ritu ji and the publisher Jain Saab, who's here from Kitab Wale, and of course the young lady who did the illustrations. I'm forgetting the name. Nandini. I've gone through the illustrations, an excellent job. And thank you so much, Ritu, once again, and God bless you. Take care.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your scholarly thoughts with us. Our chief guest, Srimati Sudha Murthy ji, is an honorable member of the Rajya Sabha. She's an author, educator, philanthropist, and a public speaker. She has written over 40 books and still continues to write in both English and Kannada. She has been awarded the Padma Shri for her outstanding social work in the year 2006. And in the year 2023, she was awarded the Padma Bhushan, the third highest civilian award in India. Ma'am, it is an honor for us to have you here today. With bated breath, we are waiting to be enlightened by your wise words. Over to you, ma'am.
Being a teacher, being a mother, being a grandmother and a system analyst, I talk a lot. Women talk a lot. I have all these qualities making me talking to the power of 2. So I should know how much I am supposed to talk today. Dear Ritu ji, dear respected Tanwar ji, Prashant Jain ji, book lovers, I want to congratulate Ritu ji to writing this book, because writing first book is difficult, subsequent they are easy. Also, first book gives you a kick, Pahila Pyar Pahila Khun. And you remember every page. I have written 50 books, ma'am, not 40, 50 or 50 years. Every year one book. But I still remember the word, the first page to last page, my first book. Not my latest 50th book, no. Because first book is like a first child, and it will have a labor pain also for that, because editing, correction, and you are worried whether people will accept or not. And you want to write, mind says, heart says write, mind says be careful whether people will read it or buy it, or all these things will happen, not only to you, everybody who writes first time. So, it's a successful, normal delivery, so it's a very nice book. Very simple book, no cesarean section for this. It's a simple book I went through, yesterday night I went through that as much as possible. I liked few things. Number one, you are given a history reference like Abul Fazl and Ayani Akbari. Of course, 1,000 years back, Al-Burani is also you are given. And that's what I like, that, and Hinglaja Mata in Pakistan. And Namaste Sharda Devi, that the Sharda who is in Kashmir now, about that. And lot more on Sharda Pita, which was like Nalanda. And I have lots of Kashmiri Pandits as friends. And I did ask them, in South we always grow up, Sharada is another name for Saraswati, but that is not true. It is a script actually. The script in Kashmir was Sharada, and that is the reason they called her Sharada Devi. It is like a Brahmi Devi kind. And due to a lot of political reasons, lot of invasions, Kashmir lost Sharda script, almost lost. Now they want to revive. And most importantly, the temple. The temple. Now, if you look historically, okay, I think with Raghavendra, I should question this. Who is the original, whom do we worship originally? 2,000 years back. 2,500 back, Buddha came. Much before that if you go. Or when we used to worship nature, Prithvi, Aap, Vayu, Varun, Tejas and all. After that, when we started worshipping, is Shiva first? Because Krishna, Rama and all came later. Is Shiva or is it Shakti? And my little bit of knowledge says it is the Shakti first, Shiva later. Because in real life, women are more powerful than men. Men in this August gathering should excuse me, but with my vast experience I have seen, women are really, there is nothing that, it is not that I want to prove that we are better. Nature has made that way. See, a woman will be, why Shakti is important? Because a woman will be a wife, first she will be a daughter, then she will be a sister-in-law, then she will be a nanand, she will be a wife, she will be a mother, grandmother, daughter-in-law, etc. All these human relationships are very delicate. Very delicate. When you are a daughter-in-law, things are different. When you are a mother-in-law, things are different. Because I am both. I was a daughter-in-law, now I am a mother-in-law. So I know every human relationship with another human being is very difficult to manage. Sometimes you should, get upset. Sometimes you should, open your eyes and scare, not even use the hard words. Sometimes you should show you are really angry, but you are not. Sometimes you should show you really like it, but you may not. All these human relationships, woman manages very well. And that's the reason I say she's a better HR manager than any MBA. Any MBA. She knows how to manage. And Rituji, I really want to congratulate you for bringing us this book in a simple language. The more difficult you write, less readers you will get. Okay? If you look at the India statistics and draw a graph, which I did once for fun's sake, the people go to English medium school and they read books, but it is like an inverted curve. There are some people whose English is extraordinarily good, okay, like our Shashitaru. Very, very good. There are very few people. There are some people, whatever you tell, they don't understand. There are very few people. 70-75% of us understand a colloquial, normal, conversational English without using dictionary. And if you write a book that without opening it, it's not I'm against dictionary. Shashi Tharoor always asked me, are you against dictionary? I said, no. But while reading, I don't want a dictionary. Then I cannot continue it. So writing it in a very simple way, and the most difficult concept, because what is Shakti? What is God? What is Pita? They're all, the way you look at it, the way you look at it. It is like an elephant and the blind man. For somebody, Shakti is a power. For somebody, Shakti is Karunamai. For someone, she is like a warrior. She gives you encouragement. So the way you look at it, Devi is like that, or God is like that. So the way you looked at it, wrote in a very simple way, without a dictionary people can read. So I want to congratulate you for that. And I want to also congratulate your husband, because you are a full-time professional. You have to work, and that is true in, are you in income tax? Then your headache is all the time more burdened. That somebody will earn money, but you have to worry a lot more about them. She has to be in income tax, anything goes wrong, she will get into problem. People who are already in problem, they will come to her also. And finish that, come back and write, because writing is creativity. You require a calm mind, and you require continuity when you are writing. Nothing should disturb you. Behind every successful woman, there is an understanding man. Unless you have an understanding husband, you cannot write. While everybody has a different style. While I write, I don't like to talk, because I am in that, I will be in their shoes, or in the heroine shoes, or hero, depending on what I write. So I don't like someone disturbing me, because thought process will be stopped. So unless you get that kind of an ecosystem at home, it is not possible to write. It is not just a book, because everyone knows the story of Shakti Pita, how it started. Most of you know, I suppose. If you do not know, read this book also. And I have also written a book. No, it's not I'm selling my book here. Okay, please don't misunderstand. They will be sold otherwise also. A daughter from a wishing tree, where I talk about Shakti Pita. It was Rudrani. She was first wife, and she dies. She jumps into the fire. That's why then it is called Sati afterwards. And Shiva is very upset. And he takes Tandava Nritya. Actually, that's the first time he dances, taking her body, and it becomes small parts, and falls on Bharatavarsha. And where her eyes fell, it became Naina Devi. And where her right hand fell, it became Sharda Devi. There is a story, but symbolically it is not that way. Symbolically I feel every Shakti Pita gives you a kind of strength. And it has its own strength, and then no two Shakti Pita will give the same strength. Okay? And it also, in every state you have a kind of Shakti, or the Mata or Devi. Every state has. Few I will give you example. Like Shivaji went to meet Afzal Khan, and Shivaji was 5 feet 2 inches. See, one thing I tell always, but what is common between me and Shivaji is height. The rest are not. He was 5 feet 2 inches, and Afzal Khan was 6.5, almost 7 feet. Okay. Afzal Khan knew he can kill him easily, because just do like this, he will die. Shivaji knew he was short, he will come up to here. Everyone said, don't go. It's historically written, don't go and fight with Afzal Khan. Shivaji says, I will go. And then he goes to Tulsa Bhavani, or Bhavani temple, and prays her. And he says, I don't have great money like Mughals or Adil Shahis. I am a small king. And here is a goddess Bhavani. He says, Bhavani, you come and give me the strength to face Afzal Khan, where death is sure, the death statement is already made for me. You come in the form of a Narasimha in my nails. Okay? So that when I embrace him, I can kill him. And he comes back and tells, Bhavani said yes to me, and he had his khadga, his one of the weapons. He said, she gave me. Whenever you see any Shivaji's photo, you can see Ma Bhavani giving him talwar. He gets inspiration from Tulda Bhavani saying that you go, you will win the war. There is no proof for that, what he felt, what really she said, but he realized that Akashavani or that strength came from worshipping mother, that he became extremely confident and went and won the war. You come to Mysore, you have Chamundeshwari. She is in a Shanta form. Okay? Not always Shakti means Raudra avatar. No. She has many avatars, Karuna, Prem, Tyag, Shant, many avatars are there. When she is upset, she is Kali. When she is Shant, she is a different person. When she is in the teaching mode, like Vagdevi or Sharada or Saraswati, Vani, so she has different rays. And the way you look at it, you can write. And what she has felt herself, or Kamakya, what she felt, and I told her what I felt in Kamakya, and she told me what she felt in Kamakya. Kamakya Devi remains the same. The way she looked at it is different. The way I looked at it is different. I like this book for various other reasons. You quote the present day relevance on that. Okay, present day, what is there in that temple? How did you go? And also told that any pilgrimage should not be like going to Qutub Minar and coming back, going to Taj Mahal and coming back. It's always arduous. And on the top of the hill, cross the river, or in the Mukambika in Karnataka, she's on the seashore. You have to make some struggle, because after darkness, you appreciate what is bright. After difficulties, you enjoy the fruits. Okay? And that is true even with the gods. The more you struggle, the more you feel. I have done, I felt it, like Tirupati, when I climb, the kind of happiness I get, more than I drive and go on the top of the hill. So, this is a very nice book for people to understand the power of woman and the power of Devi. And Devi is there in every state. Like, in Kolhapur she is known as Mahalakshmi. And in Kerala she is known as the Devi. There are many Devis in Kerala. And in Gujarat she is known as Amba Devi. In Rajasthan she has a different name. Every state has Devi. Every state may not have Deva, but Devi is always there. Woman is strength in a family. Woman is affectionate in the family. And when women are not happy, the family will not be happy. And that's what we say, Yatra Narya Ramante Pujyante Tatra Devataha. Where women reside with happiness, there is the God. And Mata is, she the female version of the Shakti. And the way you worship her, the same way you look after your daughters and wives and granddaughters, the same happiness you will get at home. I'm very happy that, the diagram she has drawn, Anita? Nandini Nayar. She has done, it's the most appropriate because I've seen more or less all the places except Sharada. And illustration gives a lot more power. Without illustration, it is your imaginary. Like I will tell this joke, many people know about this. I know, there are two things I felt about Rituji. She grew up in a family where the temple, her forefathers were in worshipping the temple. It makes a great difference when you grow up. Your photographic memory will remain there only. And that helps you a lot to become what you will be later. You may not understand that at that time. You will just recite many shlokas. But you understand it when you grow later, when you get difficulties, when you get success, then you go on decoding it. And that plays a very important role in one's life, how you are being brought up. Okay? So I request all grandmothers here, I request all mothers here, please teach your children some shlokas, because it may be a shloka today, but later part in their life it plays an important role. My grandfather was a Sanskrit scholar. He taught me many shlokas. That time we by hearted, otherwise we will not get breakfast, compulsory by heart. But I realized it a lot more that's meaning later part of my life. For everything the shloka I remember, what he taught and how much strength it gave. So how you look at it is so different. And in my time, I'm talking about 70 years back, there was no electricity and water in our village. So it's the only way reading was the only option we had. And I asked my grandfather once, tell me how is Lord Krishna? He said, the way you imagine. I said, how I'll imagine? He said, okay, I'll tell you 2 slokas. You imagine. Shantakaram bhujagashainam padmanabham suresham. He said, he's Shanta, he's blue colored, he's tall, he has beautiful eyes. The other one is Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam. How he killed Kamsa Chanura, etc. You imagine. That is left to my creativity. I thank my grandfather today, like the way you should thank your grandfather. He gave me the idea of creativity. So I imagine Krishna the way I want. I asked my daughter and son, when they grow up, describe Krishna. They did describe Krishna. It was Nitish Bharadwaj. In 1980, they saw Mahabharata. Chalo. Exactly Nitish Bharadwaj. By that time, creativity of imagination came down because you saw on electronic media. Shloka gave me the strength of imagination. Like worshipping in the family temple gives you a strength. Whenever you're in difficulties, unknowingly you recite that. Or you think of that Devi where your forefathers worshipped. I ask my grandchildren who are teenagers now, imagine, describe Krishna. They described Saurabh Jain. How Krishna looks in 2010 or 12, they saw Krishna on the screen. So, the more you see screen, the less you create. The less you imagine, the less strength comes to you. Because Nitish Bharadwaj or all are human beings. But when you think of a shloka, you imagine that powerful person in your mind. So let Goddess Parvati, Durga, Shakti, Saraswati, Vani, Kali, Chamunda, Naina Devi, Jwalamukhi, Lalita. There are many names. Uma, Katyayini, Gauri, Parvati, Parameshwari. It is also one of the Amarakosha that describe how Shakti is there. There are many names are there. You call whatever name. She is within us. Unleash your potential. Unleash your potential. She resides with us. And you should recognize she is with us. And do good work. Be happy. And be, next generation have patience. Different generation, we should give different ashirwad. People of my age, we should give ashirwad or get ashirwad is be healthy. Okay? Middle-aged people, I should say, be successful but keep good health. Okay? Youngsters, I said, have patience. It's disappearing. May Goddess bless all of you. Thank you very much giving me this opportunity. And Mr. Prashant Jainji, may Goddess bless you with this great book. May you prosper with this book. Dhanyavad. Vande Mataram. Jai Hind.
Indeed, ma'am, we all feel illuminated by your words and wisdom. Thank you, ma'am. I now request Sri Prashant Jainji, Managing Director, Kitab Wale, to kindly give the vote of thanks. Sir.
Respected Ma'am Sudha Murthy ji, respected Professor Raghuvan Tawar sir, Ma'am Ritu Sharrma ji, the author of the book, Nanni ji, the illustrator of the book, and all the visitors here, all the book lovers. यहाँ मैम ने जब ये किताब हमें छापने के लिए दी तो शायद हमने भी नहीं सोचा था इसका स्वरूप ऐसा आएगा. शायद ये इसका आउटपुट जब बुक आई है ये ऐसी होगी. लेकिन जब बुक फाइनली बनी और मैम का जो डेडिकेशन है इस बुक के लिए, मैंने एज अ पब्लिशर बहुत कम ऑथर्स का देखा है कि पर्सनली दे आर टेकिंग सो मच ऑफ केयर ईच एंड एवरी कॉमा फुल स्टॉप. आई रियली अप्रिशिएट दैट मैम. और शायद आपकी इसी मेहनत का नतीजा है कि ये बुक इस फॉर्म में आज आई है और आप सब लोग इस बुक को इस फॉर्म में देख रहे हैं. और इसके लिए मैं अपने किताब वाले की प्रोडक्शन टीम को भी बहुत बहुत वो देता हूँ कि उन्होंने बहुत मेहनत करी और उनके वो भी बहुत बधाई के पात्र हैं। उन्होंने मैम के साथ डे एंड नाइट वर्क करके जैसा मैम ने चाहा उस किताब को इस फॉर्म में लाने में पूरी मेहनत करी। और आगे भी हमें साथ साथ मैं आज की एंकर शबीना जी को भी धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा कि उन्होंने बहुत शॉर्ट नोटिस पे हमारे लिए आज एंकरिंग करी और बहुत अच्छी एंकरिंग करी। बाकी आप सब लोगों को हम विश्वास दिलाते हैं आने वाले समय में भी हम ऐसी ही अच्छी बुक्स इंडियन कल्चर पर, इंडियन हिस्ट्री पर और डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ इंडिया, we are focusing more and more on the Indian total Indian content। तो वो कंटेंट, वो बुक्स जो हमारे समय के साथ खो गई या वो कंटेंट जो समय के साथ कहीं पीछे रह गया, उसको आज हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं दुनिया के सामने लाने की। डिफरेंट हमारे कई प्रोजेक्ट्स चल रहे हैं जिसमें वी आर मोर फोकसिंग ऑन द इंडियन कल्चर एंड हिस्ट्री, एंड दिस इज ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ दैट सेम that project। The Shakti is also the देवी माँ, तो ये भी उसी के प्रोजेक्ट्स का एक पार्ट है। हम आगे इसको करते रहेंगे और उम्मीद है आप सबका सहयोग हमें इस तरह मिलता रहेगा। सुधा मूर्ति मैम का, प्रोफेसर रघुवंत तंवर जी का हमें इस पे आशीर्वाद मिलता रहेगा और आप सब लोगों का साथ मिलता रहेगा। धन्यवाद। बाहर ये बुक अवेलेबल है ख़रीद के लिए, अमेजन पे बुक अवेलेबल है परचेज़ के लिए, और इसके बाद आप प्लीज़ हाई टी जरूर लेके जाएं, कोई बिना हाई टी लिए ना जाए। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, sir. I request all the esteemed guests to kindly join us for tea. Thank you.